This is S.P. Agarwal, Principal Ramanujan College. Today, I will speak on role of feminism in commerce and management. Friends, first of all, why feminism? Why we need to discuss feminism? What is the importance of feminism? And is there any real need to discuss this topic? Well, let me tell you that the basic problem, of course, is that there is some problem with respect to women in India and their role. It can be because of diversity and inclusiveness. As regards education sector is concerned, you all know that most of the schools, colleges, universities have more than 40% women in the workforce, rather sometimes 50%. And they are doing their job very well. On the other hand, in the corporate sector, their role is much lower. Now, what is the reason for that and how we can improve that? That is the key thing. See, let us first of all see why women are not there in business sector and especially in higher roles. That is the key. At lower level, lot of women are working. There is no problem as such, especially in India. Our ratio of working women in corporate sector, in business sector, in education sector is much higher than the global ratio. But at the higher level, sometimes the problem is from both sides. One is our mindset, and second is that sometimes because women has to do dual roles, that is one at her house and second at the business place, they are not ready to accept the chief executive role or higher roles or senior level roles. I have seen quite often in banking industry, in consulting industry, in business industry, that women would not like to displace themselves from their household. That means the place where they live. Suppose they are getting a good job, but in another city, they may forego that. And that is happening in the banking industry. Now, what today we would like to discuss here is that what are the problems, what are the solutions, and where the problem lies. As I said, why feminism? Why we need to discuss it? Why we need to teach it? Why we need to do research in this area? These are important parameters. Yes, we have to do it. There is no doubt about it. And for that simple reason is that women up till now, or maybe 50 years ago, used to be considered as the people who should look after the home. But today, our women are highly educated. They would like to work in the industry, in the education, in the business, in the consulting, everywhere. Now, I would discuss this problem basically from three eras. That means the era of Mughal period, British period, and post-independence period. These are the three periods in which I will discuss the role of women in business and management. Well, we all know globally women are engines of economic growth. They are doing a lot of activity which is contributing to economic growth. We all know there is a business or gender diversity. I should say gender diversity in business enterprises. We all know, I just said, that they are underrepresented in business, particularly at senior level. Again, I'm coming to that. Especially at board of directors level. Now it is mandatory that each board of director must have a woman. On the other hand, if you see the educated lot, the education among women is much higher than in men. Women are underutilized despite of their dynamic and capable talent. And another basic issue is what I feel, that if every woman is educated, every child, girl child is educated, this problem we need not discuss at all. Because we believe in equality of men and women. And if education is there, then there will not be any problem of diversity, inclusiveness, job roles, or their workplace environment. Now let us come to the Mughal period. In the Mughal period, women used to live in parda, and Muslim women were very, very conservative. On the other hand, it was the philosophy of Muslims or Mughals not to expose women outside the house. But still, there have been examples. They have been doing certain jobs and they have been very skilled. They were dealing in precious stones, luxury goods. And there used to be some highly privileged women. But still they were working through parda. Well, I will give you some examples. But during this COVID, we have observed that women has lost certain jobs and they have been exposed to various kind of problems also. Their workforce has dropped in COVID period. Now, we also know that restrictions on women are more in richer India rather than rural or lower India. I can give you an example. Like in India, Kerala is the most educated state in terms of girls' education. And you will see that most of the women there are educated and they are working. And you will see that whole nursing in the country as well as in the world is provided by Kerala. So it is by tradition, we can say. It is not tradition, it is basically what I should say, that in most of the families in North India and other places, nursing used to be considered as a lower category jobs, which no families, middle class families or higher families will allow their girls to do that. So this kind of mindset, and Keralites coming from their lower and middle class families, they used to do nursing course and getting the jobs and feeding their families, and they also went abroad in United States, in Europe and other places. Here I would give you an example of Mughal period. Begum Samru, her actual name was Farzana, very effective ruler. She was a ruler in the 18th century. Now she used to do lot of trade, business, and they used to collect revenue from agriculturists. In the 18th century, when East India Company came, these women make inroads and used to control the area to collect the revenue and deposit that revenue with East India Company. Similarly, Zibhau in 18th and 19th century, agriculture entrepreneur from Bharuch, which is in Gujarat, she was discovered by the historian Samira Singh's research on Jibahu. Now, what was the reason that these women were flourishing? Because they had knowledge of local conditions. That was the main thing. Now, another historian, discovered that on essays on women's investment in monasteries in eastern India between 1600 1800 CE. Now, these historians studied these periods and came out with this thing that women even at that time were involved in political activities, business activities, and various activities which were dominated by men. Similarly, small time trade. Now, all of you must be observing, look at your nearby villages, nearby towns, nearby cities where we live, like in Delhi, Mumbai. Whenever I go to Connaught Place in Delhi, I see the women vendors sitting on the street selling various vegetables, fruits, and various kind of activities. Similarly in Mumbai, similarly in any bigger city. And in South India, if you go, you will see the women selling fishes and women doing various daily jobs to feed their families. So, small time vendors, women are much ahead than men. Similarly, as I said, healthcare professionals in nursing or other profession. Another important historian, Aparna Kapadia from Williams College in the US, author of Praise of Kings, she said that Rajputs, sultans and poets in the 15th century from Gujarat has been women. Now, let us come back to the medieval period. In the medieval period, women used to follow their husbands blindly. But still, there has been examples like Razia Sultan, Noor Jahan, Mumtaz Mahal, Chand Bibi, Jijabai, mother of Shivaji. All of you must be knowing that how active and what she did in the not only in political activities, but in business and other activities. Now, let us come back to women in modern India. Modern India here means 19th century onwards. Well, during this period, position of women changed substantially. In the sense, lot of education used to come to them, not only lower education but higher education. After Bhakti movement, Christian missionaries concentrated on the interest of education of girls. But still in the 19th century, Indian women suffered a lot because of certain traditions like child marriage, practice of polygamy, sale of girls for marriage, several restrictions for widows, and not sending the girls to the schools. Like renowned social reformers, all of you must be knowing, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Chandra Vidyasagar, Maharaja S. Rao, ruler of Baroda, Swami Vivekananda, Annie Besant and Mahatma Gandhi all worked for the upliftment of women in this country. Not only upliftment but also for educating the women and putting them in the mainstream. That was the key objective. Now, let us discuss the women in today's world, in today's India, or I can say all over the world. See, women today is highly educated, there is no doubt about it. We all observe in our colleges, we see more than 50% population is from girls, and then there are girls colleges exclusively. So, people are sending their daughters to the schools and colleges. But still, the problem is that most of the families in rural areas or in backward areas, they are not sending the girls to the schools. That is the key problem of coming the women out of the shell of man-dominated society, or the various vagaries and the problems faced by them. Now, as I said in the beginning, the basic solution to the problem if we want to solve the problem of feminism, is to educate the women and to take care of the health of the women. So these are the two areas, education and health. Now, I have also told you that there are certain domain areas for women, like teaching is one of them, but still the problem is that they do not rise to the highest level, that is, let us say principal or vice chancellor or school headmaster or the school principal. So why they are not reaching to that level? There are two reasons for that. One, their commitment at home, and second, the mindset of the society. Sometimes they do not accept women as their boss. But this is, I tell you, this is not that important, because this problem can be solved. The mindset is more important, and the feeling that women, that I, being a administrator, I will have to be more more hours I will have to devote to the institution, and sometimes they don't opt for it. But still women are coming. We see that very dynamic women as principals, we see dynamic women as vice chancellors. So these days things are coming out. Similarly, in business. Now, in the new economic environment, see, in the business or in the management, I tell you, more than 25% of the women are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. They are also leading the startups in the country, also in other countries. But their share is lower. That is the problem. How to improve that share? Well, I told you very clearly that first thing is to educate them, and then they will come out. Today you will see women in sports, women in police services, women in administrative services, women in the army, women in every place, and they are coming in large numbers at lower level as well as at higher level. Now, as far as India is concerned, we saw that the women has been at the highest places. Indira Gandhi has been our prime minister way back in 1971. On the other hand, US has not seen a women president till today. There are several examples. We had first women officer Kiran Bedi, IPS officer, much before. So what I am trying to say is that even in developing countries, even conservative countries, women has been contributing a lot. Similarly in business. Now, we can talk thousands of women who are running their businesses independently and who are CEOs. Indra Nuvi, PepsiCo, Shikha Sharma, Chanda Kochhar, Kalpana, various women, thousands of examples in this area. SBI's Anuruddhi Bhattacharya, Kalpana Morporia, heading JP Morgan. Then even in e-commerce, the Indian women's, Aditi Gupta, CEO of Menstrupedia, Aditi Avasthi, CEO Imbibe, Harpreet Kaur, co-founder Love4Apple. So there are thousands of examples where not only in business, not only in banking, not only in food and beverages, not only in e-commerce, everywhere, whether you talk of Amazon, Flipkart or Snapdeal, lot of women at middle level or lower level are working in this country. Now, another important thing I would make observation here. What I am saying is the women are the best managers. Why I say so? If they can manage home, they can manage any private enterprise or any business or any school or any college or any university. That is my personal feeling. Now, what are the key challenges? Well, basically key challenge is that dual role of women, because she has to take care of the house and also the organization. Also, I have seen the various research studies in which it is very clearly coming out that many women employees do not aspire for managerial positions. Simple reason, as I told you earlier, that either they get away from this or they do not want to devote much time because they have family and children responsibilities. There are certain job roles, another category of job roles in the fashion industry. Most of the fashion industry belongs to women. You can see yourself. Films, women are the dominant part of the films. Of course, the direction and other things are dominated by men, but still women are coming out nowadays. Talk of Ekta Kapoor, she is doing so much good in film industry or television soap opera industry. Even various other areas like media, Shobna Bhatia from Hindustan Times, recently Mrs. Jain from Times of India. In the medical industry, Kiran Mazumdar Saw, CMD Bicon, Swati Piramal, Vice Chairman Piramal Enterprises, and Reddy's, MD of Apollo Hospital. Now, just see that women has been doing their roles very successfully. Now again the question arises is that why we do need to teach feminism in in our classrooms or in our research. Well, for the simple reason, friends, that we want to make this society more fairer, more free from various notions that women has a place in the society. And also, let me tell you that the important aspect is that if we can educate each and every woman, things would be much better. And on the other hand, teaching and research is important so that the society becomes society understands the importance of women and can understand the diversity and inclusivity of the women. So, with this I can say that women are extremely important for the growth of the society, for the development of the society, for each and every aspect of our life. So, with this, thank you very much.